For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod driveline components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. WFO Radio back on the air. I'm Joe Castello, and it's great to be back. Super excited about this week, about this show, and all that's going on. We're headed to Brainerd, Minnesota with the NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Series, the Lucas Oil Nationals, one of the best events of the entire season. I can tell you, I know a bunch of folks from sunny South Florida down here. They pick one event to go to, and they're going to Brainerd. A whole bunch of them are going to Brainerd. It's going to be great out in the zoo, all the different fun and exciting things that are going to be happening out there. I'm super excited. On this show, Erica Enders, the 6-time and reigning Pro Stock world champion. All the big news. Erica has been in the news a lot lately. We're going to talk about it. She has been nominated for the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. And that is a huge deal. We're going to try to rally the WFO universe out there and get her in the Hall of Fame is what we're going to try to do. It is going to be an exciting show, a great show. We were able to catch up with Erica a little earlier, and you're going to love the interview, which is coming up in a few minutes from now. So fans of Pro Stock, fans of Erica, fans of Top Fuel and new drivers, dare I say, you're going to want to share the show, push it out there. Those of you watching on X and on YouTube, please leave a comment. We appreciate you all greatly. So missed last week, obviously. I want to thank everybody in our WFO universe. Thank you all. Those of you who reached out personally and on social, thank you so much. The extended family that is NHRA Drag Racing really represented in a big way, and I'm humbled, so humbled by what I experienced over the past week, and I just thank you. Thank you so much, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to the racetrack this weekend, and just kind of, nothing will be normal, but it will be what it'll be. And I'm doing the best that I can. And I do thank all of you for supporting me and the show and WFO Radio. And I apologize. We couldn't be on last week. It just was not possible and viable. So we're going to get to Erica in a moment from now. I do want to talk about a few things. For instance, Fast Jack Beckman going to be driving for John Force this weekend. After Erica, I am going to show you just a couple of photos that popped up very, randomly on my iPhone because it pops up based on dates. It shows you photos. And so it showed me a couple of photos and videos, which I think are very interesting and coincidental, right? Back to 2015 when Fast Jack had the first set of laid back headers and was setting the records. I happened to be working the top end for the NHRA down there when that run happened. And it's just amazing, the funny little coincidences. So we're going to show you that. That'll be coming up on the show. And we'll be talking about heading to Lucas Oil Nationals. We're going to be talking about the U.S. Nationals. We're going to talk about the NHRA countdown. It's all happening. Those of you who want to know about Reinhart, he'll be back. He'll be back in the future here on WFO Radio. And so I appreciate you guys all being excited about that. But right now, I just want to do like we always do at the start of each WFO Radio show, which is to showcase the people who make it possible. And on this episode, I want to start off with the Patreons. These people it's amazing how they reached out to me and were so understanding over the past week or so. The Patreon VIP Listener Club, we got a new member, Greg, signed on board, and he's checking out the Hear It From Heiner show and all the good stuff that we do. It's just a totally different vibe over there, honestly. There's content, there's special content, but if you'd like to join the Patreons, I welcome you. And if you don't want to, that's fine. Also, you're still going to get a lot of great stuff here on WFO Radio. Of course, you heard a little bit about the folks at FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters, and I want to tell you a little bit about Total Seal later on in the show, but Total Seal Piston Rings, we got new episodes of Hidden Horsepower up and being created as we speak. TotalSeal.com. If you're building an engine, you definitely want to connect with the folks at Total Seal first. Jesse Converters and the DPF X Fit brand is what it is. And that's for heavy and medium duty diesel emissions control. And you know about the Latino family, and we talk about, catalytic converters, but they have cats for all different styles of diesel engines and performance engines, believe it or not. And they've got multiple brands, and we're going to be learning platforms. We're going to be learning about them on WFO Radio. So everybody understands there was a time where that was like, a bad word, but now it is literally one of the things that is keeping the high performance industry in business. And so DPFX Fit by Jesse. And if you want to scan that QR code that is on the screen right now, you will learn a lot more about it. But we're going to go on a journey here on WFO Radio. We're going to invite Eric on the show to tell us a little bit about it. Perfect example. They put some cats on a Pro Stock engine and didn't lose any horsepower, which is amazing. But they did it and they got it done. And I appreciate them for being a part of WFO Radio. Like Bernie's Speed Shop, BURNYZZ.com, Bernie's. They can sell your car on consignment. That's right. If you've got a classic, a muscle, an exotic, they have a great audience and they are connected, well connected. And it'll be a much better deal than if you put it out in the empty, vacant lot with a sign. It'll just be a better deal because they can get more money for it. But if you're looking to buy one as well, an exotic or a performance car, go to Bernie's, follow their social media, and just check out what Josh Hart and the whole family up there, Britt and everybody, has got going on. They sell e-bikes. They've got dealership there. They do frame-off restorations. They do movie cars. It is really amazing. That is Bernie's. The folks at Foggit, you'll hear more about them in a moment or two, but it is a spray for the inside of your high-performance racing engine to protect your cylinder finish and your valve seats and anything that could possibly corrode inside your engine. The outside of your engine, well, we know what you can do with that, but the inside, how do you get in there? And you got to fog it down, spray it with a little Foggit. Later on in the show, we'll tell you about Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School and my great friend Marvin Rodak, who was so kind, sent me a wonderful text message. Thank you, Marvin. 817-924-6821. We'll be heading down to the land of Marvin real soon. Stampede of Speed. Always a WFO meetup at the Stampede of Speed. We go down to Marvin's, have a little hang, enjoy a little coffee. It is great. Marvin Rodak in Fort Worth, Texas. But if you can't make it there, give him a call, 817-924-6821. We are going to catch up with Erica, but I just want to see some folks out there like, Sammy Eubanks and everybody. My deepest condolences, Joe. Prayers to your father. It occurs to me that somebody might not know. Maybe you don't follow me on social media. My father passed away last week on Tuesday, as we were scheduled. We were going to do a show, we're going to have Erica on, and things went in the wrong direction. And so had to, basically cancel the whole week of WFO and spend time with my family. And it was very, very difficult. People have been telling me for many, many years, for those of you, I have had a great and super positive and close relationship with my father. He is the reason that I do all of this. He's the reason that I went bracket racing. He's the reason I love drag racing. He's the reason I went to a drag strip. He's the reason I went to the Gator Nationals. He is the reason that I love the sport the way that I do. And really, in many ways, it was always, a tribute to our relationship together, like father and son drag racing, like so many others out there. We're not unique. That's what's great about the sport. It's really just a collection of families out there. And so it was very tough and still is and will always be very tough dealing with the loss. But, what do I say whenever we talk about something sad here at the start of the show? I always say, what would they want? And they would want us to continue doing what we're doing and talk about drag racing. And I feel like he's got a connection to WFO wherever he is. So thank you for that. Erica Enders, we're going to drop the interview right now. Caught up a little bit earlier today. She's already in Brainerd, had done an exhibition out there in Wisconsin, all kinds of good stuff. Let's check out the 6-time Pro Stock World Champion after this.
Foggit is a high-performance fogging oil designed especially for internal combustion engines. Foggit can be used by everyone. If you have a lawnmower, a jet ski, a motorcycle, a tractor, a high-performance car, a classic car, racing vehicles, if it has a cylinder wall, it needs Foggit.
And we are back, and joining us now, the 6-time NHRA Pro Stock World Champion, Erica Enders. Erica, welcome back to WFO. How are you?
Hey, Joe. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So you got into Brainerd a little bit early because you were up at Rock Falls Raceway doing a pro stock exhibition. I want to hear all about that first off. Is it so should happen more, but doesn't, showcasing pro stock around the country at a non-national event track? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Jim and Debbie Greenheck from C-Tech own Rock Falls Raceway, and they are one of our partners on our Pro Stock team. So we go up every summer and make runs at their track, and we kind of turn it into a match race. But they have a national open, and so there's a whole bunch of sportsman cars and whatnot there too, and it's pretty neat. So we only took a few cars up there last year, and this year we ended up taking 7. So we had a really great time. We got to burn in some tires and try to get our whole operation ready for the countdown to the championship. So it worked in our favor as well, but and it was on the way to Brainerd. So we're here early.
I love it. And beautiful background, by the way. Brainerd, I didn't realize, I'm in South Florida where people come for tourism. People go to Brainerd for tourism, all the lakes and all the fun up there. I don't know that everybody else around the country and around the world realizes Brainerd is a destination.
Little bitty Brainerd is. It's definitely a beautiful part of the country. The weather the last few days, and even when we were in Rock Falls, was just awesome. It's 147 in Houston right now. So to have a high of 75 or 80 degrees and then a low at nighttime, you get to wear a sweatshirt. So I'm definitely ready for sweatshirt weather, but there are a million lakes up here. We're going fishing today. Yesterday, the guys went and played golf, and I kind of just chilled out for just 5 seconds, which was really nice. And got a couple more days before we head out to the track, get set up. And Royce Lee's running Comp Eliminator here. So we'll be out there making time runs on Thursday.
I love it. The fact that Royce is doing so well in Competition Eliminator. And I know they want to try to win the big go. I feel like he's going to be part of that deal. And you guys love drag racing, right? In the end, what was the response from the local crowd out there? To see in my opinion, to see a pro stocker, you guys are testing, you're learning a little bit about it, but every time I'm around what I'll call bracket racers or sportsman racers or grassroots racers, the class that they ask me the most about is pro stock.
Yeah, that's awesome. And growing up bracket racing, it was my favorite as well. So, there was a lot of fans that came out on Saturday. Friday wasn't quite as crowded, but a ton of racers out there and a lot of people that we know, obviously. And one of my favorite little junior drag racers, Brooklyn Hop, is from the area. I met her there last year and have kind of gotten to know her and got her one of my EE fire suits. And she has totally wrecked shop this season. She's won every single race except for one, and she's got 2 more races before the point series is over, and she's already crowned track champion. So that's pretty cool, and just to get involved in the local bracket racing deal was fun. And of course, when we're not running pro stock, we were parked right by the starting line, so we were up there watching everybody. And Royce Lee was running his comp car as well, so we were just trying to get ready for the national event and having some issues with it. So it was kind of like a really awesome glorified test session with a lot of really cool people on probably the coolest small drag strip I've ever been to.
Wow. I hope to get up there someday. I like to see, Brian Loans has been to every drag strip in the country, right? I go to the ones that I have to go to, but there are some really great drag strips around the country. All right. So one of the reasons we're having you on is because you're the 6-time champ, but I want everybody to understand that there's something pretty cool going on in the world of Erica Enders that our audience can potentially be helpful with. You have been nominated for the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. So let's just pause and think about how significant that is with all the football and baseball and what we call stick and ball sports. The Texas Sports Hall of Fame, you have been nominated. We're going to ask our audience to go to the website. I'm going to drop the link in the chat section. Yes, WFO. We got to rally behind Erica and put her in this thing. But tell us a little bit about how you found out you were nominated. That is a huge honor all by itself.
It was super random. It wasn't like a big announcement or anything. My dad and Sarah Slaughter came across it, and they sent me this graphic on my phone, and I was like, is this for real? And so it's pretty cool being from Texas. Friday Night Lights, football is such a huge thing, but the Texas Sports Hall of Fame is a unbelievable deal in Waco. And if you haven't been, it's definitely worth going to. But to have my name mentioned on a list with 19 other people is pretty cool. My first Hall of Fame nod. And, I feel like I'm hopefully not anywhere close to being done with drag racing yet. But to have auto racing on the list with a bunch of stick and ball sports is pretty significant. Makes me really proud for our racing family.
Absolutely. It's a battle. It's a constant and endless battle for respect, right? You're a baby. They throw a ball in your crib and, there's a good chance you like it. Throughout high school, drag racing in any motorsport takes a little more investment, more time. Parents got to be into it, right? Think of all the parents that don't like, basketball, and the kids are playing basketball all the time. It's just tougher. And so the top 3 vote getters who are not elected automatically get placed. And so you can get your vote in there, but I think you should be selected. My goodness, 49 wins, 50 overall, 6 world championships in the only sport. Like, I don't know what else is in there, but where, boys and girls race against each other together at the same time, something that's becoming more and more, I think, appreciated about drag racing.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to get the nod, and I'm excited about it. We've been able to accomplish a lot of really great things here at Elite Motorsports. Before I joined this team, I only had 6 wins in Pro Stock with Victor Cagnazzi, and since 2014, my first year here, we've been able to secure 44 more. So that's pretty significant, and 6 championships anyways. But I'm really proud of all of that and the people that I've been able to do it with. So yeah, it would definitely be cool to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. As you mentioned, you got to make the top, I think 9 in they take 6, and the 3 that don't get put on the ballot for next year. So hopefully we got a lot of sports writers and people in the media that are gonna vote for us, and maybe some fans will join up and vote as well.
Yes, exactly. And in full disclosure, they do ask you to join the Texas, Hall of Fame. But I know that there are a lot of people out there that are big fans or media members, or they would want to do that to support you and to support drag racing nonetheless. All right, let's talk about, and I'm going to drop the link, and everybody share, of course, if you're out there on X or wherever you're watching, share the show, and let's get it out there so that we can put a drag racer in the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. But let's talk about, okay, so Brainerd is coming. U.S. Nationals coming, countdown is coming. This is it, the critical time of the year. We're going into the race that I mean it with love, that it's the last race that, we might not get people like yelling at each other, right? Like, it's not an intense race. It's kind of a party race. You want to win it, but it's not the U.S. Nationals, and it's not the pressure of the countdown.
Yeah, I feel like every race kind of has the same gravity, but I've been struggling this year. That's no secret. Before we went to Rock Falls, I spent a few days in Galesburg, Illinois at Rick Jones' shop, and we worked on my car some to try to get me more comfortable in it. We have to remember that this is a new car to me this year, and I drove the other one for 5 seasons and won 4 championships in it. So I was definitely very comfortable. And so anyway, the boys at Rick's helped me get more situated in the car the way that I wanted to be. So hopefully that starts things off right in Brainerd. I definitely did a lot better in Rock Falls. We were able to win that race there, and I definitely had some better reaction time. So as a person who prides myself on my driving, to have had lost on a handful of hole shots this summer is not something that I take lightly, and I'm extremely frustrated with it. While I'm super proud of my teammates for having won the last 6 races in a row, that's pretty cool. But I would like to be part of that, be put back in the mix of winning races. So anyway, we've been working really hard on that. After I went to Rick Jones, we went to Skag, and with all the other Skag drivers, Jed Coughlin, the Wilkersons, and the Richards. So that was really cool. We got to mingle with about 10,000 really fun people in West Bend, Wisconsin. So that was really neat. And then obviously went to Rock Falls and headed here. So I've already been on the road for like 12 days. So I'm looking forward to getting back on the racetrack. But long answer to your question. Yeah, this is kind of the last pressure-free race before we head to Indy, where it's 1.5 and then obviously open up the countdown to the championship in Reading. So this is the part of the season where it gets really thick and really heavy, and it's the part that I like the most. And for whatever reason, in years past, we've been able to buck up and perform really well in the countdown, and I have no doubt that we'll do the same this year.
Sitting third in the points, right? Having a tough year. Oh my gosh, we're having a tough year. We're third, right? but
I know it sounds stupid.
No, it doesn't. I understand where you're coming from. You won the Gator Nationals. That's what I look at it. You got to trade something, right? You won the Gator Nationals, so it's going to be a bit of a tough year. But you're also up against this milestone, and that is never easy. We saw Rampy struggle. We saw Fletcher struggle. We saw Greg Anderson struggle. It's just something weird about pushing up against those numbers. Like it's as if the cosmic forces of the racing gods or whatever, they really want to make you work for it.
They definitely do. And I remember very vividly when Greg was trying to secure his 100th victory in Pro Stock. And it was like, when is he going to win? And he even mentioned him a bunch of times, like, it's never going to happen, but then he got it done at Indy in just an awesome fashion. So I'm hopeful that we're obviously on the brink of that and ready to get that monkey off of our back and then just move forward. It kind of reminds me of trying to secure my first win. It took 7 years and 7 final rounds before we got it done. And, this season has been long. We started off on a great foot, winning the Pro Superstar Shootout and then going to Gainesville. And finally, after 21 years of trying, we were able to win that race. So obviously very exciting. And then the rest of the season went, Murr. So it was just one of those deals, but it is what it is. And, I'm thankful for the valleys because they make the peaks way more enjoyable.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the comfort of the car? Because I know you poured a seat in Norwalk, and me and Nikki were there, and we got to watch you go through the process of having a seat poured. And then I talked to you a couple weeks later, and you're like, "Yeah, no, it didn't help, right?" And I found that to be interesting. Like, wow, getting comfortable in a race car. I know it's very important, but apparently it's not just like adjusting the mirrors.
No.
You've got to do. Can you talk about like what is it like that's without giving away a secret or something? But I would imagine it's related directly to you, so it's not so secretive. But what's the difference between comfort and discomfort in a Pro Stocker?
Well, we win and lose by thousandths and sometimes 10,000ths of a second. So every little thing that you think doesn't matter really matters. And so when I pour a seat, like I have a certain position that I like to be in. I like my clutch leg to be in a certain spot every single time. So I kind of make this like bucket for my leg, if you will. And you kind of want to eliminate the variable of foot placement, leg placement, and whatnot on the clutch pedal because everything changes. And to kind of make it more relatable, like a bracket racer that leaves on a button, like if you have an open hand or if you kind of wrap your fingers around the steering wheel and how hard you press, if you bury your thumb in the button, you're going to be later than if you just like kind of relax it on there. So every little thing matters, and how many muscles you have to release to let go. Every little bit takes longer. So you try to eliminate all of those variables. And that's what I was trying to do with the seat. I wasn't super comfortable in my car. They made a rule change to our seat and seatbelt configuration. So my old car was grandfathered in. When we got this new car, my old seat would not fit in it at all. So I've poured like 3 seats since we got this new car. I finally have one that I feel like I'm comfortable with. And then the pedal configuration and the floorboard was definitely different. So that was something that Rick and the guys were trying to help me with. So I don't really know how to explain it without like physically showing you, but to relate it to something that a lot of people have driven as opposed to a clutch car, it's kind of like the trans brake button hand deal. So I'm just trying to get super comfortable to where I can get my reaction times back to where I want them.
I got it. No, like you maybe you can't. You know it when you see it, or you know it when you feel it.
It sounds like BS and an excuse, but it really matters, and you gotta figure all of that stuff out to be really great at what you do. That's what I told my guys. Like, I'm really good at one thing, and then you change the entire configuration of what I'm good at. It's kind of like if you're a quarterback, right? And you've been throwing the same size, weight, blah 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 football, and then you change the size and the weight of the football, and you move the laces, and you got to readjust your grip. All of a sudden, 20 million passes turns into one pass, and you got to refigure out how to throw the football. So that's kind of what we're doing. It is what it is, and I'm going to keep working at it. And if we can't figure it out this year, guess what? I'll be back next year to try again.
Yes, Formula One drivers, NASCAR drivers, they spend hours and hours and hours making sure that they're comfortable in the race car. It is part of drag racing as well, especially if you're going to be successful. All right, so Richard came on WFO a few weeks ago. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Yeah. Okay. And we caused a little bit of a stir, which I'm proud of. A bunch of stories and articles got written, and I was really happy that Richard, I'm excited about what he told us about the venture into Top Fuel with you as the driver. But we haven't heard from you about it just yet. So, I have got 100 probing questions, but just like you're on the journey, right? Like, this sounds so exciting to me. What about you?
It's very exciting. So Richard was not obviously supposed to open his mouth, but that's really cool that he did on your show. So my phone was like blowing up, and I'm just getting all these text messages. I was in the middle of something, and I looked at it, and there were like probably 75, 100 messages on it. And I'm like, oh my God, I hadn't even told my dad yet that we were talking about maybe doing this, because I don't really get excited about things. The way I protect myself, I just don't get excited until they come to fruition. So I'm like, I didn't even tell my dad. He's like, what the hell is going on here? So it was definitely interesting to kind of iron all of that stuff out. But yeah, I mean, we've been working on it. We've been talking about it. Richard's purchased a couple of chassis. He's bought a couple of rigs. We're obviously not going to do it unless we do it right. Like we do everything at Elite Motorsports with the best equipment money can buy and the smartest, best people. So we have a long way to go to assemble the rest of the program, but it is something that we are obviously working on. We're seeking marketing partners for that operation. We're not going to take from our Pro Stock operation because it's our bread and butter. And yeah, so that's kind of the plan in a nutshell. I'll drive both, and it'll be fun and crazy, and I'm sure I'll be exhausted.
Yeah, but you're always hustling. You're moving around, moving and grooving. I am so excited about it, and we talked about it at the beginning. Both love Pro Stock, but that makes us not unique, but we're not in the majority that we love Pro Stock the most, and the nitro cars get so much attention. So I am excited. I want to know, are you excited for a new challenge? And talk a little bit about the challenge of driving a Top Fuel dragster.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about it. Obviously, I grew up racing with Sean Langdon and Leah and J.R. Todd, so I've talked to them a lot about it. I went in Norwalk and sat in Sean's car, and then I sat in Justin Ashley's car to kind of get the feel of open canopy versus canopy, because I have to make the decision on which one I want to drive, and I have no idea. Like, I've never driven one of them. So, the only dragster that I've been in is a super comp car and a top dragster back in the day. I've got my alcohol funny car license, but that's about and obviously pro mod, but that's about as fast as I've been. So I am excited about it. I feel like, I've been racing Pro Stock for 21 years, and we've accomplished a lot in that class. And I'm definitely up for a new challenge and a change of pace. And, the nitro classes get a ton more exposure and attention, and that's okay too. So I think it would be really great for our marketing partners to, go down that avenue. So there's a lot of things that are really exciting about it. But I think the coolest part about it is how much Richard loves our sport and how he sees things changing and people stepping away and passing away. And he wants to kind of continue, like we don't need 12 and 14 nitro cars. We need full fields, just like we tried to make Pro Stock better after the rule change. Our car counts were pretty low, and we got together with KB and we made it to where we had full fields. And now we've got, 20, 25 cars at every event. So we've really changed Pro Stock, and Richard kind of wants to dabble in the nitro ranks as well. So I think it says a lot about him and how much he loves our sport and wants to see it grow, because that's what's at the forefront of his mind. It's not really like he doesn't like nitro. He says they're really loud and they stink, but he wants to keep the sport going in the right direction and obviously expand on our elite empire.
Yeah. No, to me, it's just shaking up the apple cart, right? Pro Stock world champion, and you've been racing against, the Jason Lines and the Greg Andersons and the Matt Hartfords, and I find it all to be very exciting. But all of a sudden, the idea that Erica Enders could stage up against Doug Coletta, the fact that Erica Enders could stage up against Steve Torrence or Brittany Force, that just is a bit of a mind freak. Have you thought about like that layer? I know it's kind of far out there, but who it would be exciting to stage up against in a top fuel car?
Oh yeah, I think it'll be a whole new bag of worms. I mean, I go from having 10,000 runs in a car to having 0. So all of my experience goes out the window and I become a rookie. And, I'm a student of the game and I want to be the very best I can at everything I do. So, I think teaming up with the right group of people is going to be crucial, and picking the person that is going to coach me is going to be crucial. And obviously I'm going to make some runs in an alcohol dragster and just to kind of get caught up with the speed and whatnot. And, Steve-O's been really helpful. And he says like generally like 50 runs before you actually catch up to the car. So I know that it's definitely going to be a true challenge, but I know that we're up for it. I'm up for it. I'm excited about it, but I'm not going to sit here like a lot of people do and say, oh yeah, I'm coming out and I'm going to win 5 races in the world championship. Listen, I want to be really good at what I do. I want to not get hurt. I want to not catch on fire. I want to have a lot of fun with it. So I'm just going to take it as like a new step and something that I can be excited about instead of just like the same old thing all the time, and do the best I can with it. So I don't have any super crazy expectations. I just want to do a good job and make my guys proud.
I'm excited to hear you say that. I know you're going to do well, right? That shifting a Pro Stock car, you're dealing with a lot of input rapidly. You might not be traveling quite as fast. You're the Pro Modified speed record holder still, 260 miles an hour. You've been fast. I think it's going to be fun and a great exercise for everybody to see how it all goes. And I think it's going to be great for the sport of NHRA drag racing. Speaking of NHRA, like when Richard came on, like there were a lot of people that said, oh, they're never going to let him run both. And I don't know what the status of those conversations are. I know that you guys have been working together. Has that evolved at all since Richard kind of made it public?
Yeah, it's obviously been talked about. We're not going to make huge investments if that rule is not going to be changed, but that's the ball's in NHRA's court and that's their announcement to make. So I'm not going to step on any toes there, but you can just read between the lines and know that we're not going to be moving forward with something that we're not allowed to do. So it's in our plans to run both. If I can't run both, I will only run Pro Stock. I'm not leaving Pro Stock to run a top fuel dragster. It's just not. I don't care for it that much. So we're going to keep doing both, and people can keep talking crap and think they know things, and we'll see what happens when the doors open in 2025.
They think they know a lot. They think they know so much.
They do.
They do.
Right from their couch. They think they know everything.
I'm so excited. All right. U.S. Nationals, big one, right? You mentioned Greg and his milestone, and maybe there's more to that to come. Who knows? Maybe you'll get it this weekend and you'll be going for 51. And you got that one Lucas Oil Series win that throws off the numbers. You get to hit each milestone twice. But this year is a big round number, 70 years, the big go, huge, huge race, so many things going on. Just give us a little preview of the U.S. Nationals and what you'll be doing in a couple of weeks.
I'm really excited. Obviously, at the Super Bowl of drag racing, right? Indy means a lot to us. We've been fortunate enough to win the U.S. Nationals 3 times. I've been in a handful of finals. So yeah, there's a lot on the line, and obviously that is the final race that positions you for the countdown to the championship. And even though I say like we've had this terrible year, I have to keep reminding myself that in Bristol last year, when we finally got our first win of the season, I was like dropped as low as 15th in points. So we battled our way back up, and we went into the countdown last year in 3rd. So we're in a much better position this year than we were in last year, and we still were able to win the championship. So obviously have a lot of work to do, have a lot of things that we need to go in the right direction. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the U.S. Nationals. Whenever you pull in the gate there, and if you haven't been, you just don't know. You can't explain it, but it's different. The feeling is different. The air is different. Monday morning race day is different. It just, for whatever reason, means so much more. And you talk about big numbers, like in 2015, when we won our first U.S. Nationals, I remember giving the interview because I got to be the grand marshal that day with Chevrolet, which was really freaking cool. And then we go on to win the race. And at that event, I tied Shirley Muldowney for 18 wins. And the only person that had more than us was Angel. So I remember that landmark, and that was only 9 years ago. So we've, again, been able to accomplish a lot. And I hope that we win Brainerd this weekend and we can quit talking about number 50. But if it comes at Indy for the 70th anniversary, and, we're right on the heels of win number 200 for professional women. We just saw Maddie Gordon do that in Seattle, the 100th win for women, different women in drag racing. So there's a whole lot of big numbers on the horizon, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm no tower. That's going to be weird. They're doing that whole refurbish of the facility, and a huge investment. And I don't know how much of that is done or not done, will be done over the next few years, but I'm excited. Indy is the big go. It's always amazing. And then the countdown, right? Headed to Reading, trying to win championship number 7 for you. Things like the Stampede is Speed are down the road. Like it's the best part of the year by far. Vegas, which I know you love greatly. I'm just so excited. Is there anything we didn't cover that you wanted to cover, you wanted to put out there, you wanted to say to the people and the fans and folks of drag racing that maybe I didn't bring to the table?
No, not really. Just I'm appreciative of all the support that we've gotten, especially after Richard made the unofficial announcement about Top Fuel. It's been really exciting to talk about behind the scenes, and a lot of the fans have been really supportive. A handful of notes saying how crazy and stupid we are for doing it, which I'm not going to argue with. But yeah, I'm thankful for the support. We have so many really, really great partners that their core values and morals align with ours. And it makes it really fun and easy to do business with people like that. So Jason and Nikki Johnson, obviously, Mark Melling, the Melling brothers have been so great to me and to Aaron Stanfield and our entire operation. C-Tech, obviously, CHE. We have a ton of great partners, Joe. I don't want to sound like a top end interview by any means, but yeah, we're lucky to be teamed up with people that think like we do. So it always makes it more fun.
You mentioned Aaron Stanfield.
Yeah.
This guy, like the competition, of course, KB Titan are very strong, and Greg, the old nemesis, not that he's old, but the nemesis for many, many years. But all of a sudden, from inside the house, the calls are coming from inside the house, Erica, Aaron, Jag, like everybody at Elite is strong, and they're going to be probably a fit for you down the stretch.
Yeah, the talent lies within our own team. That is for sure. And I joke with Richard, coming from a single car team in 2014 with 8 of us total. Now we have, sometimes 9 cars at an event with 60, 65 people on the road full time, which makes it basically a traveling circus. But it is a lot of fun. And again, just like I talked about our partners, we're really lucky to have the caliber of drivers that we have under our awning. I mean, Jed Coughlin is a legend. He's the ultimate wheelman. TJ Coughlin coming up behind him. But Aaron, yes, I want to focus on Aaron because he's been driving his tail off for the last couple of years, and his car has let him down. And now things are coming around with his car, and you've seen him park it in the winner's circle a bunch this season. And he's just driving really well. His confidence is good. And he's been helpful to me through this little slump. He's been, all my guys have been super supportive. And even when we beat Aaron at the match race in the semifinals, his guys came over to me because I was 009 on the tree, and they know how much I've been struggling. And they came over, and gave me a hug and said, I'm glad that you're fixing your car and things like it. It means a lot that people are supportive, even though they want to kick your teeth in on the starting line. So yes, I have a ton of assassins under our own awning, and I feel like it makes you rise to the occasion. It makes you a better driver. If you are competing against people with, not as much talent, you're kind of lackadaisical and just go up there and go through the motions. But when you line up against one of our cars, you better pull out all the stops and give it all you got. So I'm definitely proud of that. And our roster is stout, and it's pretty cool.
It is very cool. It's great. Good time to be a fan of NHRA Mission Foods Drag Racing Pro Stock in particular. Of course, the Nitro ranks are always exciting. Erica, go enjoy your time up there in the land of 10,000 lakes. We'll be seeing you at the Lucas Oil Nationals coming up here in just a few days. And then it's really going to get very, very intense down the stretch. Thanks for making a little time for us on WFO. And a quick reminder to everybody, tshof.org. That is the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. I will be pushing out the link as well. Yes, you have to join, but to have a drag racer in the hall, I think it is worth it. Erica, thank you again for coming on WFO.
Thank you so much for having me, Joe. And we only have 3 more days left to vote, so get on it.
Yeah, that's it. We got to get in on it. All right, Erica, great job. Thank you so much. See you in Brainerd.
Thank you, Joe.
There she goes, Erica Enders, with us here on WFO Radio.
This is WFO Radio.
And we're back. The 6-time champ. How great was Erica? I am sorry. I love hearing her talk about Top Fuel. I love hearing her talk about Top Fuel and driving Top Fuel dragster and staging up against Steve Torrence and Tony Stewart and Brittany Force, and think of all those exciting storylines. And something we didn't quite get to because you can't get to every single topic, but that mini competition with Angel for the winningest female driver of all time, right? Like that lead in wins, like that could be rekindled in Top Fuel if you think about it, because Angel is on a path to Top Fuel as well with AB Motorsports. And so just super excited. Thanks to E for spending a little time with us here on WFO Radio. Guys, put your comments in the comments section. Let's get those comments in the comments section, and let's hear what you think about the Lucas Oil Nationals, who's going to Brainerd, what's going on, and of course, the big go. I'm very excited about all of that. Amazing stuff. And while you do that, I'm just going to tell you about a couple other things that I got going on here in the WFO universe. And then I want to take you a little mini journey to talk a little Fast Jack, because I'm very excited. People who went to the Night Under Fire said it was amazing. And that's the race that everybody tells me I got to go to, the non-NHRA national event show kind of race. You got to go to Night Under Fire at some point in your life, Joe. And at some point I will. But in the meantime, PowerTube TV. We had a big thing going on in West Palm Beach yesterday, an update on the new track. And there is a big thing going on next Tuesday. I'm going to merge public service announcements right now. Brian from PowerTube TV was at the event last night, which was great, just to showcase how big a storyline it is. But we had a meeting, kind of a state of the situation. An investor has made themselves avail, and the county is in on it. And next week on Tuesday morning in West Palm Beach at 9:30 in the morning, and I'm hoping to make it back for WFO, and I fully intend to, but it is like the mother of all meetings, the one that every racer in the community needs to show up to. 9:30 a.m. And you can definitely see that information on social media, but about the building of the 20-mile bend track. NHRA had a representative there last night and talking about the significance of a new facility in South Florida. And it's real. There will be unveiling a site plan that involves a drag strip, quarter mile, drag strip. So good things are happening. I don't want to get too far in front of it, but that occurred last night. And I saw Brian from PowerTube TV there to go download the app. He's got some really big things coming on the horizon that I think you will love. Our merch store, been having the discounted sale, shirts for $16, hats discounted as well. Great way to represent WFO is to buy a little merch that never hurts the WFO universe. Last race out in Sonoma, I saw a bunch of WFO logos down there at the pre-race show, and it was really amazing. And it doesn't get old to see people wearing your logo. I now get to know a little something of what the drivers feel like, right? Like your Ron Capps, and Ron Capps has got gear out there. We got all kinds of good stuff, the Miami Hollywood shirt and Wide Open and mugs and whatnot. Please go check it out. The link is in the chat section every week. I mentioned Marvin Rodak. I want to talk a little bit more about him. When you go to the Stampede of Speed, we'll be talking about the Stampede of Speed real soon. More concerts, more fun. But for me, the Stampede of Speed is a good opportunity to go down to Rodak's. 817-924-6821. If you're a racer and you're going to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, make a plan to swing by Marvin or call Marvin, and he could deliver you like pounds and pounds and pounds of coffee, and you won't have to pay the shipping. You could just drive it back. And that's what a lot of people did last year for the Jegs All-Stars. And several of our friends, Dave and Sue Morris, et cetera, loaded up on pounds and pounds and pounds of coffee by Marvin Rodak. 817-924-6821. Also, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure, the holidays. Is it too soon to mention the holidays are coming? It never is. This is the best gift you'll get anyone that you really like and care about for the holidays. You send them on this cool Dragster Adventure experience, driving dragsters. Had Frank on the show for like 10 seconds a couple weeks ago, talked about Fast Jack, who worked at the school, and how Frank said there was no better person than to put behind the wheel of John Force's funny car. Super exciting. FrankHawley.com. Tell him you heard about it on WFO Radio, and really go drive a dragster. Get in this world that we are in. Also, shout out to our friends at samtech.edu. Of course, Foggett and Bernie's. If you haven't got a can of Foggett, my goodness. And CWT Industries, Randy Neal. Balance machines. If you're a machine shop, if you work in a machine shop, if you own a machine shop, if you're an engine builder, these balance machines will make you money. It is a money maker because it decreases the time you're working on that stuff and it does a better job, right? It's like faster, better, easier to use, and does a better job. Like, wow, modern stuff. Pretty amazing. CWTindustries.com. You can always email me, joe@WFOradio.com, and I will put you together. You'll get a personalized introduction if you would like that. CWT Industries, balance machines, and like Project Pontiac was balanced on a CWT Industries balancer. So tells you what. Plus, shout out to our folks at FTI and Phillips, and of course, Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology, totalseal.com. New episodes of Hidden Horsepower coming out, but so much to be learned. There is an episode of Hidden Horsepower up there right now that will make your eyes roll back in your head. Just like high level education going on. Plus our friends at Jesse Converters, going to be learning a lot more about Jesse Converters, but in the end, they got a couple of lines for heavy diesel and for high performance. And if you want to do right by the environment or compliance, depends on, it could go either way with that, right? There are people who like high performance who also want to keep the air as clean as possible. There are people who don't care about that at all, that just want to stay in compliance with state laws and local regulations, and they can handle both of them. So scan that QR code, go to Jesse and find out more. But we're going to be going on a journey ourselves, to say the least. All right, let's see what people have to say. And then I'm going to share a photo or two about this guy. Yeah, look at that. My iPhone pops up a photo from, 9 years ago? 2015, Fast Jack Beckman sets the ET record out there. Fast Jack Beckman sets the ET record with the swept back headers. Jimmy Prock was his crew chief. And I'm down there doing interviews. What was it? 391.1 at 325. So it tells you like where we are and where we were and where we've come back to, all things considered. Those swept back headers were a big deal. And honestly, this is opinion now. The swept-back headers era saved the sport. Saved the sport of drag racing and funny car racing. We had entered an area, like a period of stagnation, where 400 was the norm, and 399 was a great run, and we were kind of hanging out there for a little bit. And then Jimmy, you know, and that's fine, and the racing was fine, and it was good racing, and it was, you know, but those of us who have been around a long time and know that milestones are part of it and want to see something we've never seen before ever, we're kind of a little stagnant. And then here comes Jimmy Prock, and he's like, what if I did this and this and this and this, and broke it out on the Western swing and just changed the dynamic. And people were trying to figure it out, looking at the car and trying to figure out what happened. How is this happening? Really amazing, an amazing period in the sport. And I'm going to play you a video in a second here, but I just want to get back to some of these comments. Like, look at this. Courtney. What's up, Courtney? Courtney saying some real nice things in the chat section. Not to mention multiple Too Fast, Too Tasty wins, a handful of number one qualifiers, third in points, but having a terrible year. Exactly. That's what it's like to be Erica Enders, right? You're having a tough year. You're third in the points. Memphis Lonnie. Shirley Muldowney has always been a big supporter of Erica. I wonder if Erica has reached out to Shirley for advice on driving Top Fuel. I don't know about that, but I think Shirley and Erica have communicated a lot over the years. That's a fact. Let's see. Everyone wishing good luck to Erica and people enjoying the interview. Yeah, share the show, guys. It's not too late to share the show. I want to see this one. And I want to shout out to everybody. We have gained a lot of subscribers on our YouTube channel very recently. And we've been putting out some clips. And you guys have been commenting and sharing the clips. Thank you for doing that. Maybe someone's not ready to sit through an hour of WFO or an hour and 20 minutes of WFO because they don't know me and they don't know us and they don't know drag racing. They don't know what's going on. But they'll sit through a little clip, and maybe hit subscribe, and then they're on board with us. So thank you for doing that, everybody. The Yeti, he's going to be out there at the Brainerd. Fast Eddie, great interview. Glad to have us back on WFO. Yeah, sorry to take that week off. It's just the way it is. Dugenet, this guy sent me a wonderful text. So many people. Like, I know it's sad that there are people out there in the world that wonder if they've got people that got their back. And it's sad. It's sad. Like, man, because it's really great to know that people have got your back. And I feel that. I feel that all the time. And it's not just my family, that there are people who really appreciate what we're doing. Loving seeing the growth of drag racing industry and awesome ambassadors like Erica and Courtney. They earned it all and they do great things, et cetera, and so on. Yes. Yes. About the Palm Beach track. West Palm always drew a crowd, even when I was just testing. The audience was surprising. Well, exactly. And Cody Savage said last night, he's the Division II director, everyone is stunned at how many racers are still coming out to fight this fight to save our track. He said, I wish we had this many people that came out to try to save Atlanta. Like, we've got a crazy community down here. That's really what it's all about, is everybody down here is retired and there's nothing else to do. No, we love our drag racing. There was a time there were 6 tracks in South Florida, way back in the day. Masters Field and all of these different, in the 1960s. Then they built Miami Hollywood Speedway, and Miami Hollywood Speedway was a super track and dominated. There was Miami Hollywood, and there was Moroso Motorsports Park, Rupp's track back before then. Palm Beach International Raceway. Miami Hollywood closed in 1992. That's when I got the tree, way back then. And we raced at Moroso. And Moroso still sits there vacant, but it's not owned by drag racers. The people who own it don't want to turn it into a drag strip. They were bummed because they couldn't turn it into a warehouse. And so it's unfortunate because we have got a wonderful drag strip like sitting there ready to go. But you could never have an NHRA national event at Moroso Motorsports Park. You couldn't. It's just not big enough. Couldn't do it, I don't believe. Parking and where would the fans come in and all of that stuff. It's more of a racer's track. This new facility that they're talking about, they like the idea. The county likes the idea that people would be flying into Palm Beach International Airport and getting in a hotel so that they could go see racing at this facility. That's the plan. Very exciting. Very exciting. Are Bernstein and Foyt in the Texas Hall of Fame? Unknown. Hey, Erica wanted me to let everybody know something, okay? So you do have to join, which costs money. And so really you'd be spending your dime to vote for her. But by joining, you get some swag. Like you think it's a hat and a t-shirt or something, and then you're a member. So, the hat, the shirt, the swag that they're giving you, the chance to vote for Erica, you're a member of the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think you can make an argument and bring back the laid back headers. They're still laid back. They're just not laid back as much as some people were going with them. And when Ron Capps is fighting the car, I know, like one thing I'm very confident in is Ron Capps' ability to drive a funny car. Total confidence. And that year he was talking about how it was very hard. And so there is something to it. There is a little something to that period and that era, and maybe safety is a big part of it. All right. 2 big moments I'm going to share. One, I hope I don't get in trouble for, but I don't think I will because it's been 9 years. And really, it's just an amazing behind the scenes. And now they're putting out behind the scenes videos. So at the time, way back in the day, 2015, I was like 3 or 4 years into my NHRA term, and I was the top end guy. I did a lot of top end stuff, love doing the top end stuff, interacting with the drivers because I have a good relationship with most of the people and love getting them when they get out of the car. But at the time, NHRA on Fox's guy was the great Gary Gerald. Speaking of Hall of Famers, and Fast Jack Beckman had just run the quickest run in the history of funny car racing. And I was not called into action. And so I decided to document for history because I like to do that. I like to document for history. And to me, what's amazing is the juxtaposition, or maybe that's not even the best word, but like just this, some coincidental stuff. I encourage you to look in the background, like who was on the other side of the racetrack when Fast Jack ran the 391. It's a trivia question. Kind of interesting.
It's just insane.
Just when you say
the smile on Jimmy's face.
it can't get any better. What did Force run?
99.
God damn. There's the quickest side-by-side run, huh? Hey, that was so-so, guys. He's a little weak in the middle.
It's so hard to digest these numbers. Just earlier today we were talking about history, maybe the greats of your team, Jason.
It's so hard to digest these numbers by Gary Gerald. I thought that was great. John Force was in the other lane at Brainerd. And that moment is like melded together now. John Force is about to, like, his car will be driven by Fast Jack at the same track that the quickest. Am I making all this up? It's my phone. It served it up like my phone knew. And it provided these photographs for me. Trust me, I wasn't searching 2015 for anything. All right. There's one more I want to showcase you because I felt like this was a moment I needed to capture. And I've never had a reason to use it, but I think now we've got a reason. Fast Jack Beckman is going back to Brainerd, driving John Force's car to run for the championship, try to win the championship for and with John Force. Do they like Fast Jack and Brainerd? Let's watch. And there you go. Fast Jack at Brainerd in August of 2015. I just would like to say that many policies within the National Hot Rod Association have changed since that date, et cetera, and so on. So Fast Jack Beckman is going to be out there driving John Force's car this weekend. How can you not be excited for that? I think there was a little rain that weekend, if memory serves me right. I don't really have that kind of memory that I remember all of those details. That's why I think I do a lot of documenting. And I've got, a lot of little videos like that in my phone. And honestly, my father too, when I want to make a social media post, right? I just boop, 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 and all these photos come up. These things are the most amazing things that have ever happened in all of our lives. A lot of good and evil in here. Final comments, guys. Final comments. We're out of here. I do want to remind you guys, the Life's a Drag guys are doing a show today. They're doing a show at 2:30. I told them 2:30, but we're not going all the way to 2:30. But if you want to see the Life's a Drag guys, I believe they have Johnny Lindbergh, which is going to be interesting. Jason Logan, Johnny Lindbergh, Jason Galvin, getting ready for the Lucas Oil Nationals. Most of you should be watching WFO, but now that we've concluded, you can definitely check them out. And let's get some final comments before we part ways. Jack deserves a good run. I agree. I think it's the story of the weekend. There's a lot of great stories out there. Just to reset, Dallas Glenn leads the points. Greg Anderson, Erica in Pro Stock. In Top Fuel, it's been a pretty amazing show all year long. Top Fuel has never been tighter. But Doug Coletta, 125 over Sean Langdon. Steve Torrence is 150 back. Justin is 158 back. And Antron is back there a little bit. Just lost my internet on that computer, which makes me think I might lose it on this computer. And if that's the case, goodbye. But if we're able to hang out, how can you not love Fast Jack? Probably had rain. Yeah, I think we did have rain. Great interview. Cheers from Anchorage, Alaska. And I appreciate all you guys. Again, thank you. Thank you to everybody out there. Like this show, we do a show every week, but I really try very hard to make sure that you guys, the audience, know that I appreciate you showing up each week and watching the show and sharing the show. We're not a big corporation. We're not owned by a major media outlet. We're not. We are small media, the mom and pop store of media, if you will. And we just happen to be very dialed into motorsports and in particular NHRA drag racing, and we love it so much. And for you guys to show up each week, be a part of the program, it means so much. Ignition will return in the future. We do not do an Ignition show, obviously, and we're kind of putting it all back together. A lot of people have inquired about Project Pontiac. You know, the whole Project Pontiac was really designed to be a tribute to my father, and the whole point was to get him back out there to watch the car. And that's it's not going to happen, but it's going to happen. We're full steam ahead on that. We're going to try to get out there and run the Baby Gators next year. Trying hard. A lot of interesting things happening on that. A lot of great partners like Edelbrock and Total Seal and Straub Technologies and Foggett, of course. If you want to support Project Pontiac, order a can of Foggett, please. And just so much great stuff going on. And the zoo. Are we going to be out in the zoo? Am I going to be out in the zoo? I don't know. I might take this year off the zoo, guys. Is that something that I should ever say, even if it was true? No. Don't ever say that you're not going into the zoo. Say, you're going into the zoo. I'm going to be there, baby. It's going to be great. And if you don't make it in there last second, well, no one will notice. That's what I think. Everybody saying good job, good job. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. And great thanks to Erica. Super excited about what's going on there. Got big stories coming on in the NHRA. Stick around. Hit subscribe. WFO.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.